Let's talk about Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow, in my DC cinematic universe. Jonathan Crane was born to an incredibly abusive family. His father would later die drunk driving one night and would be taken in by his even more abusive grandmother. She regularly beat him, she rarely fed him, and Jonathan grew up very malnourished. So much so to the point that when he started going to high school, he was bullied for his wiry, lanky frame. Everyone started calling him Scarecrow because he looked like a stick figure stuffed with straw. Jonathan was regularly beaten by a handful of kids at the school, and then he would return home and be beaten by his grandmother for being too weak to defend himself. And eventually, after years of this abuse, Jonathan couldn't take it anymore, and he decided to get revenge. He stitched himself a horrific-looking scarecrow costume, and one night on Halloween, he devised a prank, an elaborate prank, on his bullies at high school. And it scared them so much, they literally died from fright. And when Jonathan saw that happen, that was the first time in a long time that he could remember feeling happiness. After that, Jonathan Crane became obsessed with fear. What could cause a human body to kill itself from nothing but visual external stimuli? He became a psychiatrist and focused on people with deep-set phobias, and then eventually he got a job at Arkham Asylum, where he started secretly testing on inmates. You see, over the years, he had been formulating his fear toxin, a gas that makes the target experience their worst fears, and he keeps tweaking it until he can get it exactly right. You see, his end goal isn't to actually kill someone with fright. He wants to figure out how close he can get without killing someone. Eventually, his experiments are discovered by the rest of the Arkham Asylum staff, and he is fired. But because of that, he decides to take his experiments public. And so, donning the costume that he wore all those years ago in high school, he starts attacking the streets of Gotham with his fear toxin. This inevitably brings him face to face with Batman, and Batman defeats and arrests this Scarecrow. And Jonathan Crane is thrown into Arkham Asylum alongside many prisoners he had tormented for years. But one day, this man would escape, and he would make his way to Bloodhaven, where he would plan his biggest experiment yet. Jonathan Crane is the main villain for the Nightwing and Batgirl movie in my DC cinematic universe.